What is up, Panthers Nation? Good morning. It is Monday morning, and a lot of teams are reporting to camp, including the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson has expressed his same sentiments that he does not want to play for the team. And it's officially come out that the Texans are trying to take phone calls. They're actually willing to take offers. They've been playing hardball and hard to get all offseason with this new coaches and regime that they have after they moved on from Bill O'Brien. And they said that they weren't considering trading. They weren't even listening to people. We all knew that was cap, especially since Deshaun Watson had said that he didn't want to play for them. But it made it a little bit more muddy because of the off-field allegations by Deshaun Watson. Now, for the Carolina Panthers, they've been swirling around with these rumors that they were considering making an offer, or this is the type of player that David Tepper wants because he'll be box office. He's a guy from the Carolina area. It's a whole mess around it. So we're going to get into it and talk about it today. But before we can do that, I got to introduce myself. My name is Aaron Duncan, here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. I start off every video by saying, "What up, dude?" And here on Necessary Bluntness, I give recap and analysis of the NFL, including the Carolina Panthers, of course, in particular. So if you want to see more videos about the NFL and the Panthers specifically, you got to subscribe down below, hit the bell icon. And also give this video a thumbs up because, look, a lot more of these videos are going to be coming, and it really helps me in the algorithm when you like the video. It helps get the word out, especially. But hey, down below in the comments, let me know if you think the Panthers should actually consider making an offer. I know we made the move for Sam Darnold, and we brought him in, gave up a couple picks, and we recouped some of those back during the draft. But when you have a chance to get a quarterback the caliber of Deshaun Watson, you kind of got to take a chance, huh? You got to shoot your shot a little bit. Let me know down below in the comments if the Panthers should still pursue it this late in the game. Now, I really put this behind me, and I've come to grips that Deshaun Watson probably will not be a Carolina Panther. But now that the Texans has said that they're willing to take offers and put it out there, they're giving me hope again. And the report that came out this morning, I have a little clip right here by Ian Rappaport. Let's go ahead and play it right now. Let's see what he says.
In the situation surrounding Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson, according to colleague Tom Pelissero and myself, the Texans are now willing to listen to trade offers for Deshaun Watson. And this has been very quietly going on for some time, but it is now, I would say, a little more out in the open. And the fact that the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson did have a meeting yesterday, he was, as Pelissero notes, very respectful but clear that he does want to be traded and has no plans to play in Houston. The team is now willing to at least receive and return phone calls to discuss a potential mega deal involving Watson. So guys, what would it take? It would take 3 first-round picks and more, which of course you're talking about a star quarterback in the NFL, obviously the off-the-field issues, but a star quarterback in the NFL in his prime could play 12 or 15 more years. The price is high, it should be high, and now we will see where the Deshaun Watson saga goes from here.
So as you can see, the stance really hasn't changed, that if you want to go after Deshaun Watson, it's going to take 3 first-round picks. The only thing that's changed is that the Texans have actually put it out there that they are willing to listen to offers now. So it's actually officially official. You know, the rumors were swirling around, but now that the Texans have kind of given in and thrown into the towel, we see that it's going to be a free-for-all. And I think everybody and their mama is going to be willing to make an offer to the to the Houston Texans to try to get Deshaun Watson. Now, the Carolina Panthers, what do they do? Because according to Adam Schefter, a tweet that he put out, that it's going to take 5 players in combination of picks and players and starting caliber players. So 3 first-round picks, maybe 2 starters, 2 first-round picks, 3 starters. What could the Panthers offer if they wanted to do this? I know it's late in the game, like I said, but a veteran quarterback like Deshaun Watson, who is a sure thing, you can make that move. A lot of people are like, well, they want to hold on to their first-round draft picks. I'm not that caliber type of player. We see the Los Angeles Rams, they haven't had a first-round draft pick in 4 seasons. That's because they know they're always competing for championships, and they don't really need those first-round picks. They'll rather trade those first-round picks, get sure things like they did last year, trading for Jalen Ramsey, a starter that really helped shore up that defense and had one of the best defenses in the NFL. If you know you can get a sure thing, first-round picks don't mean anything. You know, the old country saying is a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. And Deshaun Watson is definitely a nice bird in the hand because you know what he is. A couple first-round draft picks, you don't know what they could be. They could be draft busts. You don't know where you could be drafted in the draft. You could be drafted at the end of the draft, you know what I'm saying, when it really doesn't even matter. So to me, if I had to give up 3 first-round picks, it's stiff, but it's something that you got to consider. 3 first-round picks is 2 starting caliber players. Now, let me give you a handful of people that could be. I know before they said they wanted some defensive starters, and the only one I'd be willing to give up, or not willing to give up, obviously, is Brian Burns and Jeremy Chin. Some people want to say Derek Brown, but I'll be willing to let him ride for a quarterback. Obviously, I like Derek Brown. I think he's going to have a good year coming up, but I'll be willing to part with him. Offensively, you could give up Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is a 1,000-yard wide receiver, and they definitely just traded for Anthony Miller in Houston, so maybe they're not looking for as much wide receiver help, but Robbie Anderson would be the most effective wide receiver on their roster, bar none. And, not to mention he has an expiring contract coming up so the Panthers probably won't be able to pay him anyway because they have a contract negotiation coming up with DJ Moore, guys like Brian Burns, Dante Jackson too. So maybe you traded Dante Jackson since you have some depth with Boye and J.C. Horn now that you just got him. And maybe you trade, like I said, a Robbie Anderson since you drafted a Terrace Marshall and a Shi Smith, and you have David Moore that you picked up in free agency. Now, like I said, you have some guys that you need, and you're still going to need an answer at offensive line anyway, but I think they can be addressed down the line. It's not going to be cured this year, but a guy like Deshaun Watson, no matter what type of suspension he has, because I think he will end up settling his off-the-field stuff because it's been very quiet. Whenever you think it's going to be very quiet with something like this when it comes to a civil case, that means that they're discussing stuff behind closed doors because we know that the victims, or the alleged victims, their lawyer was in the media just throwing mud and dragging Deshaun Watson the whole time, but he's been very quiet. That means he doesn't want to mess up the bag that they possibly have coming because it's going to be a huge settlement. Now, how will the NFL address this? I'm assuming 6, 8, 10 games. That's still. But this year for me was almost a throwaway year anyway. This wasn't a Super Bowl year for the Panthers anyway. So you do that. Maybe you play Will Grier, or you play P.J. Walker down the stretch and just let them ride it out. What happens, happens. And then once Deshaun comes in, you gear up and prepare for next year. Now, the money-wise, next year, the salary cap should be going back to normal, so the Panthers should have more salary cap room to be able to keep Deshaun Watson. Maybe they'll rearrange some money there. But if you're able to clear Robbie Anderson off the books or clear a guy like Dante Jackson off the books or a Shaq Thompson especially, who is supposed to be due $18 million next year and $19 million the following year, you give yourself a little bit more room to be able to afford Deshaun Watson. So to me, the offer should be 3 first-round picks, maybe a Shaq Thompson, maybe Dante Jackson, and then maybe either Robbie Anderson or somebody like that on offense, because these are guys that either on expiring contracts, they're young and they're starters. These are somebody that the Texans could really, be impressed with. Not to mention, you could throw Sam Darnold in there if you just want to get rid of him to give them a starting caliber potential quarterback too, who is a starting caliber player in his own right. So there's a lot of different players that the Panthers have that are expendable. Now, bringing him in obviously will be a crazy media frenzy right now because, 1, the timing, 2, the excitement for the fans, and 3, because all the off-the-field allegations. But the Panthers for 2 consecutive offseasons have not given us a quarterback that we can be excited about. And Deshaun Watson, regardless of how long he sits on the bench, regardless of when we'll see him on the field eventually, this will be something to give us to be excited about. And I am begging them to at least pick up the phone and call him. Scott Fitterer, pick up the phone and call the Texans. Please do that. Please do that. I already given you to put in 3 first-round draft picks, Shaq Thompson, that'll help clear some cap space to be able to afford Deshaun Watson, maybe Dante Jackson, maybe a Robbie Anderson, guys like that. Those are 3 starting caliber players who have proven that they can be somewhat effective in this league. And like I said, they're starting caliber players. You let them ride. You're able to keep a Jeremy Chin, a Brian Burns, and a Derek Brown. So you really got that defensive core still together. Not to mention you drafted a lot of depth anyway when it comes to the D-line, and you picked up a Hassan Reddick. So I think you will still be in good shape because you still have the pieces there at those positions that you have depth at. So nevertheless, you guys let me know down below in the comments. Are you up to mortgaging the future for Deshaun Watson? I know a lot of y'all are married to these first-round picks. I'm not. Scott Fitterer, we've seen that he can make trades to be able to recruit picks anyway. So why not go ahead and just get rid of those first-round picks, get your quarterback for the next 10, 12, 15 years. You heard what they said. And then you're off to the races and you're that much closer to being able to build a Super Bowl team because you're only a few pieces away, and 2 of those pieces are quarterback and offensive line. If you get Deshaun Watson, you're shoring up the quarterback position, and you can just build the offensive line with some of those young caliber guards that you have. You just need to address the tackle position. Nevertheless, let me know down below in the comments how you guys feel. The hype is starting up again. Are you tired of the hype? Are you excited about it again? Are you excited about the potential? Let me know. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.